The most common word of the last 10 years for baseball has been payroll. Teams are spending right now at a higher rate than ever. And it's the same thing every single offseason. The Mets are going after this superstar, or the Yankees are going to go ahead and sign this superstar. And it gets old, and it also doesn't work. Every team that has recently won a World Series, from the Braves to the Astros, has built their team.
Left side, Swanson to first. The Braves are world champions!
Starting off the list with the number 5 St. Louis Cardinals. Number 5 in the division and number 5 in this list because going into the season, the Cardinals were projected by most to win the NL Central. They lost Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina, but they also added catcher Wilson Contreras and had top prospect Jordan Walker about to come up into the big leagues. It's also a large benefit for the Cardinals to be in the weak NL Central. I mean, in the end, none of this materialized for the Cardinals at all, because for the first half of the season, Contreras was pretty much useless, and longtime starter Adam Wainwright is a huge liability compared to last year. To add on to that, they have just so many holes with the starting pitching, resulting in the Cardinals being 5th place in the division and sellers at the trade deadline. They were ranked 15 in payroll for baseball, but are here ranked at number 5 for the most failed teams in all of baseball, with a 65-81 record to go on top of that. Now the next team, number 4, the New York Yankees. We all thought coming off of an ALCS year that Aaron Judge being signed on as a Yankee for 9 more years would end up resulting in winning. They ranked number 2 in payroll, so it only added on to the fact that they wanted to win and had the pieces to win. They also thought that they only got better with starting pitching, adding ace Carlos Rodon as their big free agent signing. From the very beginning of the season, they have suffered so many injuries. Frankie Montas hasn't and won't pitch in 2023. Rodon has been injured quite a bit of this season, and when he has played in 51 innings, he has a 6.14 ERA. This team is a disaster. With an awful Giancarlo Stanton contract and an awful DJ LeMahieu contract, this is a team that needs to rebuild ASAP, and I would also expect Brian Cashman to be fired anytime soon.
It's been a disaster this season.
Now, as bad as the Yankees are, this next team is surely in shambles. Coming in at number 3, the Angels. So, where do you really begin with the Angels? They have the 6th ranked payroll in baseball, with 2 of the best players as well in the whole sport, on the whole planet. I mean, Ohtani should have been traded last year, but they decided to keep him. The issue is that they have not built around Ohtani or Trout properly. They've lacked so many different things and pulled exactly what the Yankees did. Basically, spending a ton of money on players, and those players ultimately failing. The Angels bought at the trade deadline just to end up putting all the players that they traded for on waivers only 1 month later. They also, of course, are going to be losing Shohei Ohtani in the offseason, so safe to say, the Angels are stepping on Legos with the pain that they are in and are going to be in. Number 2 is the Padres, and I really expected the Padres to be good this year. They spent a ton of money in the offseason, bringing in Xander Bogaerts, Robert Suarez. I'm actually just going to go ahead and stop there because they signed literally the whole planet. They spent $380 million in one offseason. Their record is 69-78, and their season is ultimately over. The Padres are a failure in about every way that you could possibly be one. The team around the clubhouse has been brutal all year, even going on for Juan Soto to go ahead and pretty much say that the team has given up. To go along with that, they have poor play in the baseball field. They come in ranked at number 2 in baseball's payroll. Safe to say, that money did not work. The next team, aka number 1 on the list, is also number 1 in payroll for Major League Baseball and is the biggest failure in all of baseball. The New York Mets. The Mets have had high hopes ever since they changed ownership. Of course, Steve Cohen bought the team for a lot of money and has spent a ridiculous amount of money on players. They wanted to get better, and instead of having prospects come up and play, they took the route of spending every single dime and cent in the U.S. economy. A team that has seemed destined to win going into the year with Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, and Kodai Senga. We thought that there was no chance of this team being bad at all. Well, Frank Fleming would go ahead and tell you that that statement is completely wrong because they've instead had no chance at being good pretty much all season long.
Well, the fuck
fucking free fall has begun!
Watch this. Watch this. Max is pissed. And Mickey Callaway is laughing!
The bullpen is a disaster. The lineup is a disaster. The team is a disaster. They traded away Verlander and Scherzer at the trade deadline and are now moving into a much different direction. The direction is a full-fledged rebuild.
Oh, he's gonna kill his team. What would you say? Choose on a leg.